Wakanda Forever is shaping up to be the biggest Marvel movie of the year. Expectations are high. By the time you watch this video, it'll probably be this weekend. I'm going to watch it on Saturday myself, taking the family. It's our Marvel movie night. It's our tradition. The first Black Panther was one of the most acclaimed comic book movies of all time. It even garnered a Best Picture nomination at the Oscars, which is a big deal, making it the first MCU movie to achieve such widespread recognition. Now, following up some massive movie like that is going to be hard, but Marvel seems dedicated to the challenge, and one of the most praiseworthy aspects of the previous movie was the villain Killmonger. Despite being extremely intimidating and deadly, Killmonger was a sympathetic character with a very understandable motivation. It made the film's story much more engaging than other movies in the MCU. Welcome to the Chaos Multiverse, everybody. Chaos here, and today we're going to be talking about Namor. Namor in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and how he is just getting started. And he's actually already leagues ahead of some of our classic Avenger characters. Now, Namor has been around forever. He was a popular villain in the comics, and then he turned into a good guy, and he was actually back, I believe, in the Golden Age. I know he was in the Silver Age, and the film's director recently confirmed Namor's power level. And things are going to get pretty insane if this is actually accurate, especially if they're going to do big things with him, if he's going to get his own movie, if he's going to be part of Avengers 5 and 6, which I don't see how he couldn't be. Now, up until this point, the power levels in the MCU, they've been inconsistent. But generally speaking, the most powerful beings in the universe right now are Thor and Captain Marvel. Maybe Wanda, if you like to think she's still alive, which I definitely think she's still alive. So we'll put Wanda up there as well. Now, we're not talking about Eternals. We're not talking about Celestials. We're not talking about anything like that. The Living Tribunal. We're talking about our characters, okay? Now, Black Panther and Killmonger were both very powerful characters, but they didn't quite hit the same level as characters like those from other worlds. But Wakanda Forever director Ryan Coogler is about to shake that up with the upcoming sequel. During a recent interview with Coogler, the topic of Namor and his place in the Marvel Universe came up. And when asked how Namor will compare to other villains in the previous MCU titles, Coogler said introducing Namor for us was really an opportunity to introduce another politician, another sovereign ruler of a group of people who represents more than himself. There's no equal in terms of his capabilities, being able to breathe underwater, breathe at high altitudes, fly around, walk around on land. He is incredibly strong. And then he goes on to say, he's as strong as Thor. And if he's around enough water, which I guess he pulls power from, he can be as strong as the Hulk. Now, despite his insane power level and status as the movie's villain, I do that with air quotes, Wakanda Forever's producer Nate Moore stressed in a recent interview that he's not interested in ruling the world for power. He's not interested in money. He's interested in protecting his people. And what's more altruistic than that? I mean, here's a man who believes 100% that he is the hero of his own story. He doesn't see himself as a villain because in Namor's eyes, what he is doing is right. He is protecting his people who have already made it through a tragic history. So assuming Coogler is being completely honest with us here, we could be in for a very interesting showdown between Namor and Wakanda. I mean, and also in the future, a little reminder of just how powerful Thor is. The guy almost managed to take out Thanos with all the Infinity Stones. You could even argue that if he had not gotten cocky during the Battle of Wakanda, the snap would have been completely prevented. So if Namor truly is more powerful than a fully charged Thor, I don't know if we've seen Thor at his top level, peak level in the MCU yet, but that's crazy. And the conflict of Wakanda Forever may end up being a much more multi-layered experience than we expected. And then if you put him around enough water, he's as equal to Hulk, who I don't think we've even come close to seeing his max power level. I hope we get the World War Hulk or Planet Hulk or Hulkbreaker. Hopefully it's coming. It gets pretty crazy. I mean, that to me puts him up there in the upper echelons. Namor was a powerful foe. He's definitely going to be a challenge to defeat in combat, but what if that's not where the movie's going? What if Namor's plight as a hero despite being the villain is actually going to be a more psychological conflict than a physical one? As you know, Chadwick Boseman tragically passed during the production of Wakanda Forever, meaning the Black Panther suit has been retired for him, and we know what's going to happen, but we don't know until we go watch. We do know that without a protector, Wakanda will likely look vulnerable to someone like Namor, but if Namor truly sees himself as the hero of the story, how will Wakanda appeal to his better nature? And if somebody that powerful truly believes they're doing a righteous thing, can you stop it? We know Ironheart will be making her debut in Wakanda Forever. We know somebody new will take up the mantle of Black Panther. We pretty much have an idea. But is that enough to stop him? This powerful? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's a moral conflict with Namor, obviously, so it's going to be really, really interesting. And that doesn't even go into who may be actually pulling the strings behind all of this that make these two mega nations actually go to a conflict or war. Now, do I think Ryan Coogler was being honest about the power levels? I don't know. This wouldn't be the first time the director of a superhero movie says something about how their new movie is going to have the craziest action or the strongest heroes, but it could just be marketing for the film. They're also sometimes just thinking about their movie isolated from everything else in the universe because, let's face it, the directors aren't always the lore experts, and there's nothing wrong with that. There have been some amazing comic book movies made by people who knew next to nothing about the source material or the universe at large, but that doesn't really matter when they make a great story. That being said, I know Coogler is a fan of the MCU, cares deeply about the Black Panther mythos, so I actually wouldn't be shocked at all if he truly had Namor's power level that high when writing the story, which would surely be an interesting introduction. Seeing somebody that powerful on the big screen will lead to some insane action sequences and showing off strengths. I mean, it's going to be cool. I'm eager to see how Coogler decided to show the power on screen without directly comparing it to Thor, since he obviously isn't going to be in this movie. Now, we know Namor's origins have been altered quite a bit from the comics. He still has a lot of his most important traits. He's a mutant who lives underwater, ruler of a kingdom, and has the power to zip around the sky and waters alike. But some of the more physical strength in the MCU, we're have to see. I mean, he's going to be able to do some damage. In case you're unfamiliar with Namor in the comics, he's gone toe-to-toe with Hulk and Thor before. I mean, he has, but given the difference in power rankings between the comics and movies, it's going to be insane. Coogler also implied that his max power is going to be limited in the water in that interview, as he said he was only as strong as the Hulk if he's around enough water. But given that there's no shortage of water in or around what we're probably going to be watching, it's going to be interesting. And you don't really want him to have his max level in his first introduction anyway. So what happens when the fighting breaks out? We know Ironheart's going to show up, but I seriously doubt she's going to have a power level even close to Thor, Hulk, or anything like that. We know there's a new Black Panther, but I don't know if having a brand new Black Panther go toe-to-toe with someone this powerful is going to work. So what happens? Is the conflict going to be more verbal? Is it going to be more about Namor's arc than Wakanda's? The point I'm making is, for Namor's power level to be that high, things have to get hot. Things have to get spicy. But I don't see the story ending without some kind of change or heart from Namor, or some kind of reason to not destroy the heroes. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Let me know what you guys think. I'm excited. Wakanda Forever hits theaters, like I said, this weekend. I'll be watching it. You'll probably see this once it's already up, so a lot of this won't matter after that, but I definitely wanted to talk with you guys about it. Let me know if you're excited. Are you watching it on Thursday? Are you watching it this weekend? Are you going to wait a little while? Just let me know. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon.